looking into a commercial vehicle, one big factor has to come where you drive in the vehicle. Hey, welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, there are tons of vehicles out there, big and small, and really finding the right choice is crucial. Now, behind me is the latest edition, kind of scaling down the commercial market and really allowing you to fit almost anywhere. This is the 2015 Ram Promaster City Edition. Now, there's two versions, the cargo van or the wagon, which you see here. Now, we tested out the cargo one a few months back. That's going to deliver totally a lot of utilitarian right through here. For the wagon, there's going to be places for people in the second row. Now, the biggest difference between the two really comes down to profile. What you see here is a little bit of panel van with the glass door, the old traditional. Now, that's going to allow you to have easy access in here. Obviously going to shed a lot more light and a lot more passenger comfort. Now, what you also see is the overall scale. Now, the Promaster does have a bigger version. Now, it's going to carry a lot more stuff, but be harder to squeeze in tight spots. This vehicle obviously measuring around about 6 feet tall and a lot more narrow, making it much better for the city dweller. When you look at the profile, first thing to look at is really the overall numbers. Now, by the length, about 187 inches, falling well within reason of even a mid-size sedan. The biggest stretch really comes to the wheelbase, around about 122 inches. Now, one thing to really talk about is the overall height. Again, falling in about 6 feet tall, but what you want to look at maybe is in the step-in height, because after all, this is a commercial vehicle. You're going to have to take things in and out of this vehicle. Now, when you look at the side, this is going to be around about 18.8 inches of step in. Now, that's not too shabby, and pretty much this is going to be the quick load in and out. Now, when you swing around to the back, it's about a 3-inch height difference, giving it about 21 inches really to load the gear in the back. Looking at the four corners, don't expect to be riding on anything really ginormous. What you see here is 16-inch standard steel wheels. Now, one thing to note, what I like is this rubber fascia. Now, it may seem a little out of place, but what it does is help prevent dings, because after all, when you're in a rush, you open this up, you don't want to leave marks where you've been. Even better right here in the tight spots, when you open this up, you're near a wall or anything, this is going to take the impact versus the sheet metal. When you sweep around to the front of the Promaster, they don't make any apologies really about its overall look. Hey, they borrowed it from the Fiat lineup, bringing it from European prowess over here to North America, so it truly contrasts what we're used to and what we remember, of course, the good old Ford Econoline van. That was straightforward. This one, to me, a lot different. And where it starts is really in the front area. Now, what you're going to see is body color all the way around, a little bit of lower fascia and a contrasting black. Pretty much a grille that minimizes grille warfare, and the good old simple Ram emblem. Now, what they've done is they tucked the headlights, the taillight assemblies all tight to the body to really minimize any impact when you're in the city dwellings. Now, as you sweep up, what you're going to see up front is a lot of glass, and this is going to allow you to have a lot of forward view, but also let a lot of light in. That's going to illuminate the interior and, of course, have great view out the front. One last thing is the pillars are adorned in black, giving you a lot of contrast and mimicking kind of a 360 view. The biggest difference with the wagon really comes down to this second row. Now, again, on the cargo, this is going to be straight panel van, nothing really on the inside but big cargo area. Now, what I like is once you slide this open, now real easy use, of course, and what you're going to see is 26 inches between the door and the jamb. What you're going to see here on the wagon also is that second row bench style seating. Now, let's take a little bit closer look of what that offers. What you're going to see when you get into the wagon really comes down to the second row. Now, the cargo, again, just room for the front two. Back here, going to have room for 3 across. Now, this is really going to come into play maybe for that band that has their gear and want to deliver the band members to the event. Now, what you're going to find for legroom numbers is quite decent. Now, the split back here is about a 60-40, so you can fold these flat, leave someone here, whatever. Now, when you look at legroom numbers, you got about 40 inches up front. In the second row, there's no true numbers on paper, but I find it to be around about 37. Decent area. Now, these seat backs right now are almost in their furthest position, so overall, for my 6-foot frame, we have good height on our knees and overall good positioning. When it comes to the overall ergonomics of this vehicle, remember this is pretty much straight cargo with a little bit of passenger comfort. Now, what you're looking at the second row, again, it's split here, so we can fold this area down, fold this, and transform it into cargo real easily. But one thing about comfort is these seat backs pretty much are where they're going to be, because after all, this locks into place and there is no reclinability going backwards. Now to transform this into a flat cargo area, all you do is really grab this handle right here and tumble it forward. Now what I like is the fact that the headrest is still in and this can fully lay flat. Again, we have room for 2 here. Add the area right through here for extra cargo. Once you decide whether you have a lot of people or a lot of cargo, one thing you can look at also is, instead of making this flat, actually tumbling it forward. And the way you do that is a little handle way down here in the right hip area. You're going to pull on that and it's going to tumble. Now what's great, once again, is the headrests are all in and this still tumbles forward with ease. Now one thing to note, with the positioning of the front seats, that may come into play of taking these out, but that's not really that hard. Once you do this, you're easily going to have about 6 foot of cargo floor here, really allow you to handle most items. The business end of any commercial vehicle really is at the back, and one thing to look at is the doors. Now what you see here is about a 70-30, 80-20 split. This side being the everyday use, giving you a lot of access and definitely wide enough. If you have bigger packages, simply swing out the other side. Now again, the step in height here to this lower bumper, around about 21 inches, not too bad. Now one thing to also look at is the amount of rear glass you see here. That's going to give you a lot of view out the back glass versus a solid cargo panel. One other nice feature is the backup camera, giving you a lot of bird's eye view. Now one thing to note, it is split with the nice door pillars here, but there still is plenty of glass on either side. Now one last thing is this built-in windshield wiper. Now works nicely when you turn on the front. Getting into any cargo area in any van, what you want to look at really comes down to the door handle. Is it something you're going to fumble with? In this case, the Promaster has a huge oversized handle, nice and open and able to grab it. It's also protected by this rubber cladding, helping prevent any scratches and dings to the body color. Now once you grab the handle and swing it open, what you're going to notice is really a 90-degree angle opening for the doors. Pretty much straightforward and give you more of a cavernous like opening. Now in cases where it's a little bit tighter, you can fix that, and the way you do that is simply press right here on the hinges. That's going to open it up and swing these doors out to about 180 degrees. That's going to give you a lot easier way to get items in there, maybe in tight areas. Now once you dive into the cargo area, what you're going to see is about 48 inches between the wheel wells, about 60 inches overall. As for the height, around about 50 inches. Now what that's going to give you is over about 140-50 cubic feet of space. Now one other number to think about really is the cargo floor from the back to the front seats. That's going to be around about 6 feet. Looking inside the cargo area, first thing you'll notice is down here on the floor, that is kind of a carpeted material. Now what I would prefer is maybe a non-slip surface, so when you do put items back here, they don't sling around. One thing to help with that is the anchor points. You can strap things with ease. Now up above, it may seem moot, but there is actually a headliner. Now that became a problem because when we put things in here that came in contact, it actually dirtied and muddied it up. Up here, I actually prefer just the good old sheet metal. This vehicle is all about efficiency, and where it starts is right here under the hood. Now it delivers a 2.4 liter Tiger Shark inline 4-cylinder engine. Now that works out to about 178 horses and 174 foot-pounds of torque. That equates to around about 1,700 pounds of payload and 1,800 pounds of towing capacity. It also works out to great fuel efficiency, around about 21 miles per gallon in the city. Last thing to talk about really is a transmission. It's coupled with a 9-speed automatic. Climbing into the front seat, what you're going to notice is pretty much straightforward captions chairs, a little bit of elbow support. Now for the motion of the chairs, you're going to find one lever for up and down movement. You're going to find 2 knobs, one for reclining the seat and the other for lumbar. Now what I prefer there is actually more of a lever control, makes it a lot easier to use when you're going down the road. Looking at the dash, what you're going to find is pretty much simplicity when it comes to the entertainment. Nice small screen. It does have navigation and all the different menu selections down below. 2 simple knobs, otherwise real easy to use. One other nice feature I found when you're maybe driving at night and this can be distracting, simply press here. It's going to turn off the screen, but all the function is still there. Now when you sweep down, climate control, to be expected, 3 knobs. Nice oversized for the temperature, the mode select right here, and the fan in between. And again, just minimal buttons and clutter. Now that does it for this special delivery of Road Warrior and our test drive behind the wheel of the 2015 Ram Promaster City Edition. Now again, this was the wagon, giving us that room for 5 people and still room for cargo. The best feature really comes down to the overall size, really getting into the city, delivering what you need to do and get out. If you go to the bigger Promaster, could make things, well, a little bit tighter. Now again, we'd like to thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.